Planning to tie the knot in the bluegrass state? Well, welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide today. We're going to dive deep into how you can seamlessly secure your marriage license in Kentucky, totally hassle-free. You know, getting married is an incredibly exciting milestone, but let's be honest, navigating the legal paperwork can sometimes feel a bit like a maze. But don't worry, today we're going to clear all of that up so you can leave with complete confidence. Let's jump right in. Here's a quick look at our roadmap. First, the Kentucky marriage basics. Then, eligibility and required documents. Next, the in-person application process, followed by an incredibly useful online marriage loophole. After that, we'll cover ceremonies, timelines, and FAQs before wrapping up with some final tips and disclaimers. All right, Section 1, the Kentucky marriage basics. Let's go over the absolute fundamental rules for tying the knot. So what exactly do you need to get legally married in the bluegrass state? If you're feeling even just a little bit of anxiety right now about state laws and county regulations, go ahead and take a deep breath. We're going to break this down step by step so you know exactly what to expect. The good news? Kentucky actually offers some incredible flexibility when it comes to getting that license. The state spreads its marriage licenses across 120 separate county clerks. But the crucial takeaway here is that you can apply at literally any of these 120 offices. And once that license is issued, it is legally valid to be used anywhere within the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky. So say you live in Jefferson County, but you're dreaming of a wedding in the beautiful mountains of Pike County, you can absolutely do that using a license issued right in your hometown. Now let's talk about the cost. The standard statewide fee for a marriage license in Kentucky is exactly $60. This rate is set in stone by state statute. And just a heads up, there are no discounts offered for taking premarital courses here, which is something you might see in other states. Oh, and this is super important. The $60 fee is entirely non-refundable under Kentucky law. That's true regardless of whether you actually go through with the wedding or just accidentally let the license expire. Moving right along to Section 2, eligibility and required documents. Basically, what you actually need to bring with you to the clerk's office. Okay, first things first. To be eligible, you cannot be related closer than second cousins. And, naturally, you cannot be currently married to anyone else. When you show up, both of you are going to need a valid government-issued photo ID. We're talking a driver's license, a state picture ID, a certified U.S. birth certificate, or a passport. Also, if either of you were previously married, a lot of counties require you to bring a certified copy of your divorce decree. So it's really just best practice to have that in hand to avoid any hiccups. Now, here is a massive legal update you need to be aware of regarding age. Both parties absolutely must be 18 years or older. While Kentucky historically had some exemptions for 17-year-olds if they got court approval, recent legislative bills in the state Senate and House have strictly prohibited marriage under the age of 18. They cemented an absolute ban on child marriage. There are literally no parental consent loopholes anymore. You must be a legal adult. Section 3, the in-person application process. Let's walk through navigating the traditional route. If you're doing this the traditional way, it's a very straightforward 3-step sequence. Step 1, like we just covered, is gathering up those valid photo IDs. Step 2, and this is the absolute most critical part, both of you must appear physically together at the county clerk's office. Then Step 3 is simply swearing to the accuracy of your information, signing the application right there in front of the clerk, and handing over that $60 fee. I really want to pause on this quote for a second because it is absolutely vital. Kentucky law maintains an absolute prohibition against proxy applications, remote video appearances, or the use of powers of attorney. The clerk actually has to visually confirm your identity in person. They need to ensure you're giving consent voluntarily and verify neither of you is under duress. So this mutual physical presence requirement, it's strictly enforced. Which brings us perfectly to Section 4, the online marriage loophole. A modern, 100% legal alternative. Think about it for a second. What if you're deployed out at Fort Knox or Fort Campbell? Or what if your household is split across the Cincinnati metro area for work? Or you're managing a long-distance relationship across the Eastern Mountains? That strict in-person requirement we just talked about, it sets up a massive logistical nightmare for these couples. So what do you actually do if you can't be in the same room? Well, here is the game changer. You can actually utilize a Utah online license instead of a Kentucky one. Check this out. Kentucky does not issue online licenses or allow remote video ceremonies, but Utah does. So you can apply for a Utah license entirely online and hold your ceremony over video, right from your living room in Kentucky. And because of the federal full faith and credit clause, Kentucky legally recognizes this marriage in full. It is a 100% legal, incredibly modern workaround for couples who simply cannot make it to a Kentucky clerk's office together. Let's move on to Section 5, Ceremonies, Timelines, and FAQs, taking you all the way from the application to the altar. 0. That is exactly the number of waiting days and blood tests required in Kentucky. If you go the traditional Kentucky in-person route, you can literally walk right into the clerk's office, get your license, and get married that exact same day. Real quick pro tip though, try going midweek, mid-morning to totally bypass that crazy Friday afternoon rush at the clerk's office. Now, once that license is instantly issued to you, the clock starts ticking. You have exactly 30 days to use it. The valid window for your ceremony is day 1 to day 30. If you don't have your ceremony and return that signed license before day 30, it expires. It becomes completely invalid, and you will literally have to start the entire process over from scratch, including paying another non-refundable $60. When it comes to the ceremony itself, Kentucky law mandates that at least 2 witnesses must be physically present, and that's in addition to yourselves and the officiant. Speaking of the officiant, who can actually marry you, Kentucky recognizes ordained ministers, priests, judges, and, interestingly enough, county judge/executives who are elected political officials. Just remember, after the ceremony, it is the officiant's legal responsibility to sign the license and return it to the exact same county clerk's office that issued it. Finally, Section 6, Final Tips and Disclaimers. How to stay prepared for those sneaky county variations. So payment methods can actually vary wildly from county to county. While a larger office like Jefferson County might take cash, personal checks, or even credit cards if you don't mind a fee, many of the more rural counties often enforce strict cash-only policies or outright refuse personal checks. Always check your specific county's website before you head out, or you might find yourself scrambling to find an ATM. Oh, and one more thing. Triple check the spelling of your names before you sign the application. Correcting a typo later requires a really lengthy legal amendment process, and nobody wants to deal with that. And, of course, a quick but necessary disclaimer. Laws and local procedures can and definitely do change over time. The info we've covered today provides a really comprehensive operational guide, but you should always double-check current details directly with official state resources, your local county clerk, or legal counsel before you apply. Well, we've covered a ton of ground in this explainer today, from ID requirements and that 30-day ticking clock to the traditional in-person application and that incredibly useful online marriage loophole. So I'll leave you with this final thought. When it comes time for your big day, which route are you going to choose? The traditional Kentucky clerk or the modern online loophole? And maybe more importantly, who are you trusting to remember to return that license to the clerk before those 30 days are up? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and we will see you next time.